Hey everybody, it's Melissa and today I'm doing an unboxing video. I got a couple fragrances here. This one is called Royal Taboo and this one is called Carnal Desire, and these were gifted to me but not from the brand. I was gifted these fragrances from Joma Shop, so as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own, and I'll put the link for where you can get these fragrances if you want them in the comment section below. I'll pin it, but just know that's an affiliate link, so always buy however you feel the most comfortable. All right, so I guess it's called Royal Taboo by French Avenue, or is it Aromatic? Maybe it's Aromatics French Avenue, but I haven't heard of this brand before. I don't know what these fragrances are supposed to smell like. I did check the price for them, and I think they're each under $55. So I'm gonna assume they might, like, I don't know. I was thinking they might be dupes with that price, but they could be original fragrances. So we'll see how they smell. And I know some people don't believe this, but when I opened the box of this, I smelled just like a walk. It just smelled like a typical masculine type of fragrance. And some people think that, like, oh, you can't smell it until you spray it. But it was evident the second I opened the box. But I don't know which of the two fragrances that was. Why is this giving me a hard time? Sorry. Okay, here we go. Royal Taboo. Oh, I guess it opens like this. And then it goes like this. Okay. All right. What presentation? All right, let's see this. Ooh, the bottle feels, texture is very interesting. Here we go. It's like a fancy brick spray. There it is. It kind of looks like, I mean, I just finished watching Arcane and this bottle looks very Arcane-ish. We'll go two, because that first one wasn't really a spray. Kind of like, looks like Jace if he was a fragrance. Anyways, ooh. Fruity, it smells a little fruity synthetic for a second. At first I wanted to say a little masculine, but right now in the air, it's smelling pretty unisex, you know? So let's see. Okay, I don't like it right now, super up close. I like it better in the air. Let me let this sit for a second. This smells familiar to me. Why can't... Okay, it's spicy the closer I get to it, but in the air, it's reminding me of another fragrance. What is that? Oh my gosh, it smells like a fragrance I smelled like a couple years ago, nothing recent or anything. You know what? No, okay, the first one that kind of came to my mind a little bit was Desire Toxic. Now I'm kind of getting a little bit, is it latent again? I'm not gonna put my nose to it yet. This is just in the air. It's smelling a little bit like Leighton. Is this a Leighton dupe? Okay, up close, still not my favorite. It definitely smells a lot more peppery and almost like that's why I said Desire Toxic, just because that fragrance kind of has a little bit of this dirty, earthy vibe, which I connect to the patchouli of that fragrance. I'm not sure if there's patchouli in this one, but there is a sort of dirtiness, grittiness to the close-up smell of the scent, and I do prefer the way it smells in the air as of right now. Because in the air, it was a little Leighton vibe. Little Desire, and if you haven't seen my video on Desire Toxic, that fragrance to me kind of smells a little bit like Leighton, but there are more polarizing notes in it that I feel like a fragrance connoisseur and lover would appreciate, but your average person might potentially be put off by. Like, there's cannabis in that fragrance, and it kind of, does this, I don't know if I'm getting a cannabis vibe from this scent, but it's definitely, I feel curious about it. You know, I'm not entranced with it. I'm not like, oh, I really love this right now. But it definitely has me you know, I'm not gonna immediately wash this off my arm after this video ends, because that's kind of what's been happening with the newer fragrances that I have been trying outside of like Aylin, right? When I would test them, they just aren't it, and they kind of get annoying, so I wash them off my arm. But this is a curious one. Let's let that sit for a second. This one's Royal Taboo. Okay, Carnal Desire. I swear, if this is like a strong oud fragrance, and I know it's January, but it's a hot day today where I'm at, so it just would not be ideal, but we'll see. All right. The way that these are boxed are really nice, though. I will say that if you're somebody who loves presentation, the type of price point that this has with the presentation of the fragrance box and stuff might be up your alley. So here we go. It looks the same, just a different color. Before I even spray it. Okay, it smelled a little weird for a second. I don't know what that was. I'm just gonna do one spray of this one because the word it's a stronger fragrance. I mean, yeah, it's a, what's it called? An extrait de parfum is what I saw in the box, but I mean, and like, that's not to say it's a bad scent. I'm just saying that with the day it is right now, this is not the type of fragrance I would want to wear. It smells like oud. It smells like oud for sure. Let me put this hand behind my back so that it doesn't kind of mix together. Okay, and you know what? A lot of people, when they smell a fragrance like this, they're gonna be quick to say, okay, that's gonna be more of a masculine scent, and I could see that with oud. But there's just, if you're a woman in the fragrance community that loves niche, I mean, this is the type of fragrance that in the type of DNA, I should say, that would be appreciated regardless of gender or label. You know, it just has that typical. I have smelled, it's also leathery, actually. Not like, was that oud that I was smelling or leather? Was that oud or leather? Now it's all mixing in my mind. Maybe there's both, or maybe it's more like one. Yeah, dude, it literally kind of smells a little bit like leather seats, like in a new car. That's what I'm getting right now. Not airplane seats, all right? I'm getting suede, leathery vibes with this fragrance, which to me would make this more of a nighttime weather type of scent, or for sure cold weather, I should say. Nighttime and cold weather. But yeah, this one is definitely the more polarizing out of these two fragrances. This is the more daring scent right here. I'm gonna assume the performance with these fragrances are gonna be good just because they are extrait de parfums. But if you guys want a full review of either of these, just let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to flesh out a full review for you to let you know how they do perform. I'm definitely not giving this one a full wear today. I'm not gonna do that. That's just, it's settling to be pretty interesting. I will tell you right now that after this video, and potentially after I make a full review of this fragrance, is this something that I see myself reaching for to even try to wear it? Not at all. But you know what? If you're the type of person that likes fragrances like Tuscan leather, you like, is it Royal? Is it Amber Suede? I think there's a precious liquid fragrance called Amber Suede, and I think even Royal Tobacco, something like that. If you like those type of fragrances, I think you're gonna like this one. Those aren't really my cup of tea in particular, but I can always, like, you know what I mean? Everyone got different interests and tastes, and I feel like you'll align with this fragrance if you like the ones that I just mentioned right now. All right, I'm gonna say it. This is the type of fragrance that people would probably say smells a little like Coke. Just a little bit. All right. I would not be surprised if somebody says, for some reason, that smells like, to some people it might, but let me try this one. All right, hold on, let me put this one back. I gotta say, as this one is drying down, I am kind of getting almost like a fruity sweetness. My mind wants to say apple pie-ish. Just hear me out. I know this sounds all over the place, but it's still pretty, like, it's obviously synthetic, right? Like, when I smell it, I'm not as enraptured with the scent. It does smell like very synthetic aromatics that can work. Like, I see this being a compliment getting fragrance if you were to wear it. But I think for people that really like, you know, the natural ingredients and those sort of smells, you might get a headache with this fragrance. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. I still have my other arm behind my back. Fruity is not the right word, dude. And it's not a gourmand fragrance either. I could see this eliciting that reaction though, where people can salivate a little bit, but the spice is evident there. I don't know exactly what note that is. The pepperiness of the fragrance has dried down a bit though. So I mean, the pepperiness has died down a bit. So I don't really pick up something peppery and sharp or anything, but it's more so kind of like a spicy sweet. And now it's actually getting a little better. Little vanilla that I'm getting as well. Both of these same type of situation, cold weather, nighttime. Still believe that Carnal Desire is a lot more of a daring fragrance. Now that this one is settling, Royal Taboo, it is getting, I do see it leaning more as a masculine fragrance. Like, it's cool. Like, I wouldn't, if y'all were to ask me, should I get that fragrance? If you like what I've said so far, sure. What I like is that they're not gonna break the bank. I don't feel as comfortable saying, you know, if these were $200 fragrances, I'd be like, it's totally up to y'all. But most people aren't gonna be too pissed at buying like a $53 fragrance in comparison to a $300 fragrance that they don't end up liking, right? So sampling is always key. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think I'm gonna keep it, y'all know how I am. I'll keep it very real about this. There's been a big wave in the fragrance community where a lot more younger people, especially with other platforms, have been introduced to fragrances, and the dupe game has been going crazy. And also, you know, Arab fragrances have been going nuts. And there's a lot of younger, even I think I have a younger cousin that's been getting fragrance content asking me about, oh, what about like this dupe and blah, blah, blah. Again, that's not representative to everybody in the world out there, but I see this, specifically Royal Taboo, being the type of fragrance that if it were to generate hype online, a lot of younger boys would come gravitate to it just because it's a little bit cheaper, still 50 something dollars, but cheaper than a typical designer fragrance with that uniqueness that they might enjoy. Like, I see this being the type of scent that if a guy were to smell it, especially like a teenager or something, that might be like, oh yeah, like that's, I want that fragrance that smells so good, you know? But to me, I personally wouldn't reach for either of these fragrances with the sense that you see in my rotation that I love. It could be, you know, for me, I'm in my late 20s, right? So taste is very different with stuff, but don't let that put you off from wanting to try it if it sounds interesting to you. As for Carnal Desire, I do see this being more of a grown fragrance for sure, but I still see it being that type of scent that if it were, and I haven't been consuming fragrance content on other platforms, even on YouTube, to be honest, but if this was circulating and getting a lot of people talking about it, I also see this as the type of fragrance that maybe a teenage boy would grab because they like the description of it, but they get it and they're wondering why they're not getting compliments on it, right? It's a scent that it can smell grown, but it smells like the type of fragrance that a young person would wear because they're trying to be grown. You get what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't really see this being the type of scent that people who are watching this video right now, like if you're really into the fragrance community and stuff, I don't see this being like a top contender for you. I could be wrong about that, but I think for all like the experienced people, this might be something that you'll smell it, you'll get it, but kind of look over it. But for the younger crowd, they'll smell it and go, oh yeah, that smells like, you know, kind of maybe what they're trying to emulate and what they want to be seen as and stuff. And that's why I say it's grown but worn by, I see it. That's the vibe I'm getting, that if I were to ever smell this, it'd be on a younger person. But would it work on them? Maybe, but it doesn't come across as a teenager fragrance. It's kind of weird, dude. I hope I'm describing this right, you know, but the fragrance game has been turning so quickly that, you know, you have people wanting to wear daring scents, which is awesome and stuff, and experiment with all of these things. But sometimes there's going to be mismatches that happen when you're trying a bunch of different stuff. But yeah, I could see this fragrance and even Royal Taboo kind of leaning into that. I think Royal Taboo is a lot more friendly though. If you did want one of these two scents, I think this is the easier one to grab. And I think that this is the one that would get you more compliments between the two. But it's just, it's kind of good but not great. This isn't something that I feel so drawn to that I want to put my like a nose to the neck fragrance where I'm really just hypnotized by it, where I would be able to confidently say to y'all, if you wear this scent, people will go nuts. And that's not to say people won't go nuts if you wear this, because I'm sure a lot of people will like it on you, but it's just kind of missing the mark a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, have you guys seen that movie Mulan? It's so popular. I mean, the Disney movie, right? In that scene where what is it? The strong, like something about her in the military, and they were singing a song about be a man, right? And then there's a specific that's like 1 second where there's like a doll or something on their practice field or something, and everyone's launching the rockets and they're missing the doll, and then towards the end, right, they all hit it, they obliterate it, whatever. This fragrance is kind of like the doll is there and it's like barely scraping it, you know, like, yeah, it still kind of hit the target but not really. I just kind of feel a bit about these scents right now. Good, not great, but still not something that I'm gonna, like, when I make a video saying, oh, these are the top 10 sexiest fragrances in my mind right now, or this is what I recommend to y'all, are you gonna see either of these on that list? Probably not. Okay. Geez, I think I've rambled quite a bit for this video. Again, let me know if you want a full review of it, and I'll be happy to look into the notes for you. But I like doing this with no bias, just because I really want to just tell you what it comes across as to my nose without reading it first and then implementing that in my video. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'll put the link for where you can get these in the comment section, in the description box. If you have tried these fragrances, give me your honest opinion. Again, I've only been wearing these for probably over 10 minutes. You might have a different experience, of course, wearing it after 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. So I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.